Export that puppy and boom, Bob's your fractured time-lapse uncle. That doesn't work, does it? Hey, I'm Rain, and I got a lot of good feedback about the last video I put out about making hybrid time-lapses, so I wanted to show you another trick you can do called a fractured time-lapse. I'm already a big fan of time-lapses. They're such a cool way to show the passing of time, and this is a fun way to add some extra spice. First, I drag my time-lapse onto my timeline. I drag an adjustment layer above my clip, search Open Effects for Grid, and drag it onto the adjustment layer. I like to reduce the row cells and major line spacing sliders to 0 since I don't need them. Here I decide how many slices I want. For the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to go with 10. I need the clip to be an exact amount of time so that this effect loops seamlessly, and here's how to calculate it. Length of the clip in seconds times the timeline frames per second equals the total amount of frames, divided by the number of slices equals the offset for each slice. We need to pick a length of time that equals a whole number with no decimal place. Here's an example. Let's try out a 4-second clip length and see if it works. 4 seconds times 24 frames per second equals 96 total frames, divided by 10 slices equals 9.6. 9.6 is not a whole number, so it tells us 4 seconds won't work for this. Let's try 5 seconds times 24 frames per second equals 120 total frames, divided by 10 slices equals 12. This is a whole number, so this tells us a 5-second clip will work. You can use this same formula to find out other combinations of clip lengths and total slices that'll work. So I make sure snapping is on, put the playhead exactly at 5 seconds, select my clip, hit Command R for retime controls, then grab my clip and shrink it down to 5 seconds long. Since I chose 10 slices, I duplicate my original clip 10 times until I have them all stacked on top of each other with the adjustment layer on top of all that. Since the calculation gave me an offset of 12, I divide my adjustment clip into sections that are 12 frames long. To make this a little faster, after cutting a couple, I make sure snapping is on and start option dragging copies over so they're all the same length. Starting with the second clip from the bottom, I start sliding each clip over to align with the beginning of the next adjustment clip above, so that when I'm done it looks like this. With the top clip selected, I move the playhead to the beginning of that clip. Then go to cropping in the inspector and adjust the crop left slider until it aligns with the furthest grid line. I select the next layer down, put the playhead at the beginning, and again adjust the crop left slider until it aligns with the next grid line over. And I keep repeating this until I've done all but the very bottom layer, and it looks like this. Now I put the playhead at the end of the last adjustment layer, then select all the clips to the right of the playhead and cut them. Then I drag them to the left so that they align with the other clips like this. I disable the adjustment clips, and then because I want this to loop a total of 3 times, I grab the entire group of clips we just made and drag over 2 more copies. Export that puppy and boom! Bob's your fractured time-lapse uncle. That doesn't work, does it? Here's some examples of what it looks like with 10 slices, 20 slices, and 40 slices. I don't know about you, but I think that looks pretty badass, and I wanted to share it with you. If you like this, then you're definitely going to want to check out this video on how to make this impossible looking hybrid time lapse right here. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you in the next one.